The facts of this case and the evidence presented at trial do not establish that there was an unlawful use of funds by JODC or Kniep. The failure of a business is not fraud in and of itself. Indeed, this court sees business failures every day. While MLO argued that Kniep used funds from JODC to make purchase of real estate in Kniep's own name, Kniep responded with evidence that shows that those financial transactions were taken to reduce JODC's tax liability. Based on my review of the complaint and consideration of the evidence at trial, I find that MLO has failed to prove by preponderance of the evidence that Kniep violated the Deceptive Trade Practices Act. There just was simply no evidence. That's the ruling of the court. That final judgment will be entered in the favor of the defendant, Mr. Kniep. Thank you. Be adjourned.
There are so many things I could say right now. That happened yesterday. There's so many things I could say. Yesterday, justice was served. I was vindicated after 3 years of false accusations, people trying to use the bankruptcy of my last company, which could not keep up when COVID hit because we were importing tens of thousands of products into the US, and all the delays. We need to launch those products because part of the revenue in those products would bring in cash flow to pay our 350 plus staff. And because of the delays, we couldn't bring them in and launch them soon enough. We ran out of cash flow. So the only thing we could do was file bankruptcy to save whatever assets we could in order to have something to give to people who paid us to build them online stores. And most people understood. Most clients were very gracious. They understood what we were up against. They saw how hard we were working on this. But just a few of them decided to try to use this opportunity to suck as much money as possible out of the situation. And they were angry and they were slanderous and they were malicious, and just lie after lie after lie was said. And for the last almost 3 years, I just had to wait and wait and wait because court takes forever until finally yesterday afternoon, the judge announced that every single attack against me, every single one, was denied. I wasn't 80% vindicated or 90% or 99%. I was 100% acquitted of any wrongdoing. Literally an hour of just piece after piece after piece proving that what we did was the right thing. Here's a really interesting story you may not know. Long before we got any letter from any lawyer when they were getting upset about delays, some of the clients were, we started selling real estate, putting the money into the company to keep it going. 11% of the funds that came in to pay clients was invested in real estate, which, as you probably heard the judge mention, reduced Just One Dime's tax liability by over $1 million. Not a single penny of that went into my pocket. All of it went into the company. And we started liquidating the properties before there was any legal ramification at all. It wasn't like, oh no, we're in trouble. No, we were doing that already. We had an entire plan. In fact, we tried to file Chapter 11. Now, why would someone try to file Chapter 11? Because what it means is you hold off any legal attacks, and it gives you time where the court says, I'll give you time to make money from these stores. And the only reason we didn't is because the judge wouldn't let us because our plan was too long. It was a 7-year plan. Not to mention I put my 401k and my wife's 401k into the company. Not to mention I put my own personal rental property that I purchased way back in 2018, long before this program had started, with my own personal funds into the company. My Amazon reserves I put into the company. Like, we literally hurt ourselves financially trying to make this work. And here's the mind-blowing thing. In spite of that, in spite of when I said, hey, if they think we committed fraud, hire a forensic accountant. So the trustee did. Like, he took my advice. And for 2.5 months, the trustees went through everything. Even the FBI called a couple of times to look into the issue. And do you know what the forensic accountant found? Zero evidence of a single dime of fraud. And yet, it didn't matter. Even after this evidence, some clients still thought, doesn't really matter that I have all the proof that they did the right thing. Doesn't matter that I have every single bank statement and all the transactions and everything, which proves that we put more into the company than the company paid us during those 2.5 years. Literally, our funds went down. We didn't get rich off this. People are like, oh yeah, he filed bankruptcy and ran away with the money. Like, first of all, that's a really stupid statement because that's not how bankruptcy works. Second, it's simply not true. But oh, it's sensational, so it'll get me views. It is so self-serving. It's disgusting. Like, people will literally, if they can, if you have a lot of money, they will say, oh, if that person is struggling or they're running into problems, how can we take advantage of someone who's hurting and suck as much blood out of them as we can? Like humanity's capacity for evil is amazing. And when someone attacks you, remember something, they're projecting. Like when you're doing the right thing and the best you can, and they call you all these things, they're projecting what's in their own heart. What's in their own heart is vomiting out on you because they can't stand to face themselves in the mirror. Now, here's the key part. If you allow it to make you bitter and you don't show them grace, then you poison yourself more than them. And you'll carry that with you until you really learn forgiveness. And the only way I was able to forgive people who are like, I would never do business with, the only way is because of God's grace towards me. God has forgiven me of my sin. God has forgiven me for all eternity. And that is the only way, the vertical way, I have the capacity to do that. That's why when people talk in business all the time, like, hey, serve people, or, have good communication, or, truly care for people, they act like this is some new novel idea. No, it's not. It's been in the Bible for thousands of years. Look, I don't care if you're a Christian or not, all right? That's not my primary goal, is to get you to believe what I believe. I'll be open about it because God saved me. How could I not be open about it? But people act like entrepreneurs, yeah, the new way is to be kind. Gary Vee, did you know that Jesus talked about that years ago? Like, this is not something new. This is something that's been around for years and years. It's just funny to me how God's principles work. Alex Hormozy talks about, be disciplined and hustle, and, as much time as it takes, that's how much you're going to work. When someone asks me, Seth, how many hours a day do you need to work to build a business? My answer is simple: as many as it takes. That's all, as many as it takes. The idea of being disciplined and reaping the fruit of your labors did not originate with Hormozy. It originated with the God of the universe. Like literally, I don't care if you're not a Christian, just try this. Go look at the gospel, read the story of Jesus. You will be blown away at how every good principle in business you can find in the gospel. Like it's mind blowing. But I just want to say one last thing. Do not become like the people who attack you unfairly. That's the last thing you want. I promise you this, they live in misery. Like the capacity people have to sit there online and wait to criticize people whom internally they're jealous of is unbelievable. Just realize there will always be people who envy you, always be people who can't stand it when they learn that you did the right thing and they were wrong, and they can't face that. So what do they have to do? They have to villainize you even more because they can't face themselves. And it's sad. They need God's grace. They need to understand there's a God in heaven who can forgive you of all of that. He's forgiven me, and he can change you from the inside out. One of the, can I say this? Yeah, I can say this. So a guy who had handled bankruptcies for over 40 years, this older dude, he called me one day and he goes, Seth, are you okay? And I said, why are you saying that? And he goes, because I've seen people commit suicide over less. And I was like, dude, even though this has been really hard, it hasn't even crossed my mind. Yes, it's been hard. Yeah, a lot of people lied about me online. It's completely unfair. But here's what's amazing. The Lord is my strength. And I don't mean that in some religious way. People are like, oh, you're trying to hide behind religion. No, you don't know me. Nope, God literally changed my life. Like, rip open my chest and look on the inside. You will see it is the Lord Jesus Christ who in the world suffered more unjustly than Jesus? Who am I to say, oh man, I'm special. I've, suffered. Yeah, I've suffered unjustly, but I'm not a perfect person. I am a sinner. Jesus Christ did nothing wrong. And what did they scream? Crucify him. The very people he came to save, the Jews. And they were the ones who said, crucify him. Amazing. Like just, I don't know. There's so much I could say right now. I just want to say this, please, whatever you do, whatever you go through, whatever suffering you have going on, please remember this. If you do the right thing, eventually you'll be vindicated. I promise. The Lord remembers you. The Lord loves you. And you don't have to be religious for this to be true, okay? I'm not trying to get you into religion. I'm just simply, after my bankruptcy, I just said, look, I'm going to be super open about my faith because God gets the credit. He's the king. He gets all the fame. He gets all the glory, not me. If I can be a vehicle through which people can know him, that's amazing. And now, okay, last thing I promise. Now, here's what I love. In our community, we have a lot of dudes who know my story and they understand what I've been through. And many of them have been through really hard times. And there's something about going through hell that just makes you so much stronger in the inside. It gives you so much more passion for life. And now you were just like so hungry and just ready to go. Like my energy level and the sense of freedom in my heart is so much greater than even back when I had a $50 million company. Because man, when I die, who cares if I had a $50 million company? I want to live my life with purpose and do the best I can. So if I'm going to make money, I'm going to make as much as I can. If I'm going to love my wife, I'm going to love her as much as I can. It's like what Solomon said. He said, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your heart. Not some of it, not a quarter of it, not a little portion of it. Do it with all your heart. Brokenness, pain, trials, running into obstacles. Let these things make you into an incredible man of steel. Even when you feel like complete shit, do not forget this. God remembers, and in him you can find strength to come through. I promise you this, it will happen eventually. And there will be days where you're like, I don't have hope. I'm not sure what to do. This is so unfair. I get it. But just remember one thing. You have not lived a perfect life any more than I have. And there's a merciful God who cares about you. Turn all your trials into strength. What did Jesus say while they were crucifying him? He said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. Wow. Like, mic drop. I can't even elaborate on that. I can't improve that. Like, that's unbelievable. That's why I follow him. Now, please understand, I'm going to give you as much business value in this channel as I can. Please know that. Again, whether you're Christian or Muslim or atheist, I don't care. Like, I love you. I love you because God has shown kindness to me. Okay. That doesn't make us not friends, not brothers. But the reason I'm open about it is because it's in my bones. Like after God allowed just about everything to be taken from me, he just showed me that he is the one who will stay with me no matter what. And last thought, through the bankruptcy, yes, I realized how unbelievably sick and greedy people can be. People calling you greedy, and yet they're the ones who are trying to suck money out of someone who tried to help you. And because they failed, that means you're a fraud because you failed. Like, does that even make sense? Have you ever failed? But there's other people who you will find are your true friends. People who you knew were friends, but you didn't know how much. Like I had some friends who they just stopped talking to me. It's like, oh, so our friendship was based on what people say? So you fear what other people say more than you care about, I thought we were friends. And I just had to let it go. But then other people reached out. Hey, Seth, tell me what happened. I want to hear your side of the story. Like they acted actually like a generally kind human. You don't have to be religious to know this, right? You don't even have to be an amazing person. Just basic common sense, critical thinking. If you think someone might have done something wrong, go talk to them. Have a conversation. And they did. And I can tell you, I have a team of people who like I would go to the ends of the earth with. And I never would have known who this team was had I not walked through hell. And in our community right now, the men in there are unbelievable. Some of these men have been through absolute hell. And there's something about that brokenness and that pain that just builds something strong inside. And it gives you a passion for life that cannot be explained in words. A desire to do well. Solomon said, whatever your hand finds to do with all your heart. Man, live life that way. It's too short this side of heaven to waste. Give it everything you got. If you're going to love your wife, just go all the way. If you're going to make money, give it everything you got. If you're going to tell someone about what God did for you, show them what he did with no shame. There's no reason to hold back. Like give it everything you got. And it's okay. You're going to F it up along the way. It's okay. Because God's bigger than that. And it is through your mistakes that you learn humility, that your character grows, and you become a stronger person. So all I have to say about that is let's go. Let's go. Oh, I hope you have an amazing day.